Hi, my name is Danielle O'Neill. I'm a therapist in East Tennessee, 30 minutes outside of Chattanooga in Cleveland. And COVID is crazy, y'all. And you're probably pretty stressed, and for good reason. We have never dealt with this large of a worldwide pandemic, at least most of us, within our lifetime. So yeah, if you're stressed, your body's just doing what it's supposed to do, telling you that there is a really big threat out there. And also, one of the most stressful jobs is being a teacher. School is in and then it's out, and kids are coming in and you don't know what their parents are doing at home. So if you are a teacher, you are a superhero right now. You are truly the backbone of our society and our future. And, you know, a lot of the advice that you probably get scrolling through Instagram, maybe you follow some mental health professionals, is, well, just do more self-care. Take a bubble bath or take a walk, practice these coping skills. And it's like, yeah, that's great. And that helps temporarily, yet it doesn't necessarily solve what's waiting for me in the morning. It's like you have no clue what's going on in my life. So what I wanted to do was give you something a little bit more helpful than just say, go take care of yourself better, by giving you a visual representation of stress, what that typically looks like for most of us, and how COVID is affecting that. So most of us, we have a life, right? So in a sense, we have a plate, which this is a really big plate. It's a charger. And I think that's actually fitting because in today's society, a lot of us don't just have a plate. And especially if you're a teacher, you don't just have a plate, like you have a whole charger that you are responsible for carrying every single day. And so some of the things that may be on your plate are work. So that's a pretty big piece, right? Then you probably have your own family. You may be married, or you're in a relationship, or even if you're not married or in a relationship, you still have friendships and people that you're responsible to. And then a lot of us have kids, so our own kids' schedules, that's a pretty big piece right there, just the carpool every day. Then there's just house stuff that needs to be done, whether that's laundry, dishes, you name it. It's a big piece of our lives. Then lastly, like what to eat. I think that's a pretty big piece, just like the grocery shopping and meal prepping or ordering food, whatever you do, that's still a really big, just foundational piece of our lives. So right there, that's I think that's pretty average for most of us. Your plate may be a little bit different, but just go with me. Okay, so even with those pieces, which let's see, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I just put 6 pieces on there, right? Look at this charger. It's already full. It's already full. There's not really much room. And imagine having to hold this all day. And that's what you do. It looks light. It seems light. This isn't a very heavy plate, but holding it all day gets heavy after a while. By the end of the day, you're like, whew, I'm ready to put down the plate. Well, then now where we're at and where teachers are at is we have COVID, which is this huge piece, probably even bigger than this, right? And it's a new piece that we're having to fit onto this already full plate. Then also too, another huge struggle, changing schedules, right? So, okay, now your plate's looking like this. And it's hard to carry, right? I even had a hard time. And it's like spilling over. It's like at any moment, if I just kind of tip it a little this way or tip it a little that way, it's spilling over and everything is falling off the plate. And then you have mental health professionals that are like, yeah, just take a bubble bath or go on a walk. Yeah, not all that helpful, right? So what I'm suggesting is different is that, okay, these things aren't changing, right? The changing schedules in COVID, at least for right now, it's not changing. So let's look at the plate just with those things, right? Okay, already full. Okay, so these things, work, house, family, that's upside down, family, all of these things, right? All of these pieces, in order to accommodate these pieces, right? Somebody has, and these pieces can't really be changed either. You've got these pieces. However, what we can do, right, is we can allow somebody to carry the plate with us. Because imagine holding this plate all day. It would get heavy. However, if there's two hands holding it, it's a little less heavy and maybe a lot less likely to spill. And what you do by holding it with two hands is you increase the stability, right? So that's one way of dealing with an overflowing plate, is getting someone to come alongside of you and to hold it with you. And that looks like sharing what's on your plate with your spouse, with a friend, with church community, like your workout community, your gym, something, right? Which I know that during COVID, maybe some of you are going to the gym, some of you aren't. Maybe it's an online community, someone somehow, in order to carry all of this, I think the best thing you can do is get someone to hold the plate with you. And maybe that also looks like reaching out to a mental health professional, a counselor. All of the teachers with Head Start in East Tennessee, they get 2 free sessions with me or someone at my office. So maybe that's something that you want to do, because if you've only got one hand with this plate, you go this way or that way, and it's all coming off, right? Another thing, besides getting someone to hold the plate with you, is also making it just a little smaller. It's like, okay, we're not going to get rid of work, but how can we take a little piece of work off? And then you take a little piece of the kids' schedules off. And so let's just take it a little bit off, right? So we're just taking little bits off, take a little bit of the house off. Right? Okay, so we just took a little bit off, and look, it's not as much as it was before, and we just took little pieces off. Little pieces make a big difference. And so my point there is that when we allow others in and to take a piece of the work or take a piece of the house or a piece of the kids' schedules, whether that's grandparents, whether that's getting them plugged in somewhere, allowing the spouse to help more, just anything you can think of, anything that you can do to just cut off little pieces. Maybe that's adjusting your expectations of what you can do right now. Like maybe it is, if you can, ordering takeout once a week instead of cooking every night. Something to shave off a little bit of those pieces is what's gonna help. So again, when dealing with stress, don't be afraid to reach out to get another hand, right, in your already full plate, so that it'll be, at least it'll be stable and things won't spill off. And don't be afraid to reach out for help to get your kids more involved with the chores, or your spouse to pick up the kids one day a week, something to shave these little pieces off. I hope that helps you. I know that this is a stressful time. You've got this.